I was a little surprised because of all the different kinds of polarization that have been happening, and the majority of the polarization and the unfriending that I see happening is along woke lines
Mm-hmm.
that I had we don't have a lot of time to have the kind of arguments we used to have, the comfortable freedom to do, like the argument that you and Gabe had yesterday about reason and faith and God. Those sort of seem not as pressing now because we're fighting this culture war.
I can't
And
remember the last time I had like an actual like even with Bradley, I didn't really argue that
yeah,
much. I can't remember the last time I had a like an atheist versus Christian argument, which by the way was totally unexpected and not my intention to have. But like it was
it
like,
was
wow, this
good.
is like 10 years ago when we used to argue about stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
had reason to be reminded of those kind of arguments that we haven't had in a while this morning too, because I posted Politics, Patricia Wilson, who people may recognize her name. She was in the Uncle Tom documentary, and I hope to have her on the show. But she is a homesteader and a farmer, and she makes her own fur hats, fur and leather goods, sustainable handmade goods, and they're beautiful. She has these beautiful raccoon hats. And so I had shared a picture of her raccoon hat, and someone was upset and said it was sad because it's a dead animal. And I'm okay with people disagreeing with me on that topic. I understand it's a moral disagreement there, because and also maybe an ethical one. I know that fake fur and fake leather are worse for the environment. I mean, I used to work in handmade cowboy boots. I love handmade leather products, and I think they are a lot better. I think evidence shows that they're a lot better for the environment, and they're sustainable, and they're lifelong products instead of they're slow fashion instead of fast fashion. But what was interesting to me was that I lost a couple friends and over it, and I was thinking, wait a minute, are these friends? Am I losing friends because of the vegan animal debate? Like, that's been a while since we've been able to have this kind of polarization or argument, and it was just a funny thing to think about. I was like, oh, people still are very, passionate about their disagreements on this topic, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of I mean, I get it. Like if it's a moral argument, a lot of vegans and vegetarians there's a moral argument against. It's like the killing is bad. The killing itself is bad, right? So
mhm.
you can't make arguments about like, well, it's better for the environment. They'll be like, well, yeah, but you
Because
don't.
it's moral, because they view the murder of the animal, they call it murder, but
Right.
they view that as immoral.
Right.
So we have a difference in morality
Right.
there,
I
I
say that as a
guess.
carnivore, by the way, who totally loves eating animals and will never stop eating animals, likely. um, but yeah, that's. I think that's the heart of
And
the
I
disagreement.
used to be vegetarian. I was never vegan. I was vegetarian for a short time, like a year or two, and then I was pescatarian for about 23 years.
Yeah.
I now eat other kinds of meat, not just seafood, but I just haven't. It just reminded me that I would like to get back to a world where we have these kind of discussions and arguments and disagreements over things like this, instead of feeling as if the most pressing thing is to push back against against this ideology that makes those that would have those kind of arguments not exist, where you won't get to have differences of opinion.
Right.
I want to get back to a place where we can have those differences of opinion instead of just fighting the ideology that says you can't disagree on anything. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think we'll know that we've won when we can go back to atheists and theists can go back to arguing. But right now, we're like united against there's there's Marxists trying to take over. Like, let's go defeat
yeah,
them, and then we can go argue about God.
yeah.
So